Hello, this is a video of a custom jean jacket brought to you by a broke beginner. This is my first time customizing something, and this video documents my process and progress to achieve a decent jean jacket look. Before you start even thinking about the design, keep in mind that you will need a ratio of 2:1 between the acrylic paint and the textile medium. For the paints, I ordered Ceramcoat textile medium from Amazon, and I used leftover acrylic paint from a previous project. The two brands of acrylic paint I had were Sargent acrylic paint from Amazon and Deco Art Crafters acrylic paint from Dollarama. For half the video you will be watching me painstakingly design something for hours. Planning ahead was my Achilles heel, as I tend to be an impulsive person when making art. So, the draft you are watching is nothing like my final piece.
Tip number 1 is to avoid mixing two brands of paint of the same color. This can cause discoloration or splotches of color on the fabric.
If it is your first time doing a risky project, challenge yourself but stick to realistically executable designs.
Tip number 2 is that I would advise you to do something simple, unless you have taken a few art classes or have a solid art foundation. If so, challenge yourself from the get-go. Tip number 3 is that I would advise against putting an acrylic paint layer before mixing the paint with acrylic medium. Along with tip number 3, tip 4 would be to prevent putting a layer of paint and textile medium before you start, unless you are working on black denim.
After the wash, it ended up cracked. I was angry. The embroidery I experimented with was the first thing I cut off. The paint cracked. It's my fault. The texture was grainy. Here is a close-up of the ratchet version of my jean jacket. I watched a lot of beginner videos that discourage complex designs, so I overplanned this project. I decided to do a more complicated design freehand. I don't have the clip of me physically doing it because I didn't have the mental capacity to film and paint. I made a rough sketch of what I wanted and went with this. Boom shakalaka. I'm a rebel. I decided to redesign the whole jacket, but I had to keep the concept of the flowers. Sorry for the video being longer than it needs to because of me flexing the back of my jacket. I added some embroidery through watching this video. It was the easiest video I found.
Tip number 5 would be to do any embroidery on top of painted regions. Use a sharp needle, as the paint can crack when putting holes through it.
I also customized the front. Surprise! I decided to add clouds to this area because I spilled some acrylic textile medium mixture water and it stained. Sad boy hours until I fixed it. I added a simplistic design with clouds for the front.
Tip number 6 would be to add a lot of textile medium after you fix any cracked regions with detailed paint. Try and observe your jacket for a few days.
I poured probably about 3 tablespoons of the textile medium because my jean jacket had so many layers of paint on it. After it dries, it feels a little sticky, but I promise that it protects the paint. Works like varnish, I guess. I accidentally mixed 2 different types of acrylic paint, which is why under harsh lighting, some regions seem more reflective than others. The splotchy look fit my vibe of a smoky background, but it might not be adaptive for your design. I've been obsessed with the idea of pocket watches and wallet chains, so I decided to add an element of that look. So you might think I finished the custom, but art is about the details. I didn't have a keychain, so I looked around for improvised ideas. Perhaps a paper clip could work? I got these from Terry, one of my sweetest life mentors. I think she got them from Dollarama, but I haven't used them prior to this. Sorry for the hair. My mom just took a shower. I promise she is a germaphobe and cleaned the drawer right after I left. Look at me being innovative. JK, I do not promote hubris. This is me putting the chain together. Hashtag struggle. I'm deciding how I want to put the chain. I had to play around with it until it seemed mildly pleasant. Finding the position of looseness of the chain you want for aesthetic purposes is very difficult. For people looking for easier ideas, I would recommend purchasing embroidered iron-on patches. The yellow bud type designs in the middle of the flowers are embroidered. The embroidery for the smiley face and my ANP signature I did those free-handed. This is the final product. I hope my tips and tricks were useful. Feel free to DM me your first time customs or send me a message for any advice. This whole video was clownery. Ha ha ha. Thank you for watching.